All right, it's noon o'clock. My name is Grace Nagel. I'm from the Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs. I am in their safety and emergency preparedness team, but I'm also on the agency wellness committee and the central office wellness committee. I am here to introduce Jen Westra. She works in life on purpose coaching, and even though she's based in Spokane, she does serve throughout the state. And she is going to talk to us about changing the narrative and unlearning limited beliefs. So I will turn the time over to Jen right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Grace. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So hopefully you are all seeing a very pretty PowerPoint presentation.
It's beautiful.
Fabulous. Love it. Okay. Well, thanks so much for being here. As Grace said, my name is Jen, and I live in Spokane with my husband, whose name you are probably seeing because I forgot Teams is connected to his work account. So you can call me Levi, same person, or he lives here too. But my name is Jen, and we do, as Grace said, we live in Spokane with our two cats who may or may not make an appearance during our time together today. So a little bit about me, just quickly. I started out life very much trying to live up to society's expectations. I was a rule follower. I did all the shoulds that were expected of me. And I thought that what mattered most was what other people thought about me. I would say, does anybody else relate to that? But I can't see you. So I'm just going to choose to assume that some of you out there are raising your hands. Nice. Thank you very much, Mary. But long story that we do not have time for today. Thanks to both a degree in women's studies and me starting to work with a coach, I've learned to see myself and my life in a whole new way. And I realized that just because society thought my life should go a certain way, I'm actually the one who gets to decide how I want my life to go. So again, long story, but that all led me to start my own coaching business because I totally get the challenges women face because I've been there. And I also understand the larger societal structures that shape how we see ourselves and what we think is possible. And what I have found for myself and my clients is that one of the biggest obstacles to feeling confident and stepping outside of our comfort zones to create the life we want is our limiting, usually unconscious beliefs. So that is why we're here today. We'll look at what limiting beliefs are, why they matter, and how we can start to replace those narratives with hopefully some new, more empowering ones. Just super quick housekeeping thing for our time together. If you don't already have it, go ahead and grab a pen and some paper or a notebook because you might want that. And as much as I love coaching, we really aren't magic workers. So we are not going to be able to undo an entire lifetime of programming in just 15 minutes. Sorry about that. But my goal is to introduce you to this process so that you can then take it and practice applying it to your life, even after we leave here today, since our time is so short. And with that, let's go ahead and do this. So first, what are limiting beliefs? Where do they come from? For me, limiting beliefs are those thoughts or that voice in my head that tells me it's selfish to follow my dreams, or that it's better to, if anybody's heard this, go along to get along rather than risk rocking the boat. And to be clear, we all have limiting beliefs. It's a totally normal part of being human. For most of human existence, our survival depended on belonging to a group or a community. So it really mattered that we learned how to fit in and knew what the rules were. And we've spent our whole lives absorbing messages from society, including our parents, our friends, at school, at work, about what's acceptable and how we're supposed to act and behave. And those aren't always bad things. I mean, it's how we've learned to get our needs met and to be part of our larger community. But where this becomes a problem is that those messages we've all absorbed become the default programming that we operate by. So unless we're clear on what that programming is or what those unconscious rules are, we're living on autopilot. We're following a script that we didn't choose and that may or may not actually still be relevant and useful in our lives. I it's weird to not be able to see you, just your faces. As if you have any questions about that or anything that's not clear, definitely feel free to pop them in the chat or let me know. But since I can't see you, I'm just gonna keep on moving.
And I'll be monitoring the chat. If anybody asks any questions, I'll interrupt.
Awesome, love it. Thank you, Grace, for managing that behind the scenes stuff. So Grace and I are both happy to answer your questions. Okay, so now that we have that background, what do we do about it? This is where the unlearning part comes in. First, we have to get clear on what those underlying beliefs are. And then we can decide if we want to keep living by those rules and beliefs, or if we want to choose something different instead. And a three-step process for how we're going to do that. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and choose an area or a belief that we want to focus on. And to be clear, we have beliefs about everything: money, relationships, appearance, family, career, on and on and on. So you can start wherever you want or with whatever feels most relevant to you. To walk you through this process, I'm going to go ahead and choose money, just because it's an area that I've done quite a bit of work on for myself. But again, go ahead and pick. I see someone I know in the financial realm here cheering that on. Go ahead and pick an area or belief that you want to explore. And then the first step is to really dig in. And we want to list out all of the messages that we've gotten about that topic and all of the beliefs that we have about it. So for my money example, some of the beliefs that I had or messages that I had received were: money's limited. There's never enough of it. You have to work really hard to get it. And success is defined by how much money you have, just to name some of the few. And it takes time to really work through this and get it all out there. So like I said, you're definitely going to want to go through this again when you've got a bit more time, because the goal is to really get all of those messages or beliefs that you've received about this topic written down and out there. Then, once we've gotten clear on what those messages are and those beliefs that we've gotten along the way, the next step is to explore how those beliefs affect our thoughts and our behavior. So we can ask ourselves, how does that belief serve me? Does it hold me back? What has it cost me? See, a nice little pun there, cost me money. Yeah, I'll be here all day. And you want to get to the facts behind this belief. For example, how do I know that this is true? Is it actually based on evidence or just something I've always assumed? So again, back to my beliefs about money. How has it served me? Well, it helped me work hard and save money. I try to be pretty intentional about the things that I spend money on. So how has it held me back? Well, I've missed out on things because I'm scared to spend the money to do it. I've definitely chosen jobs that pay better versus jobs I'm really interested in. And it stresses me out. I've spent a lot of time thinking and worrying about money. So then what has it cost me? And This was a really hard one because I realized that those beliefs made me think that I had to prove my worth and my value by earning more money. And then finally, how do I know that that belief is true? And what I discovered looking at the evidence, it's not true. I've never once not had enough to eat. I've always had a safe place to live, and we've always been able to pay our bills. So this is really where this work starts to get powerful, because now I can see that even though I've received messages my whole life that there's never enough money, that isn't my actual lived experience. And yeah, I think it's led to some positive behaviors like saving for the future. On the whole, this belief isn't serving me. So then the fun part comes in this last step. What's the belief or message that I want to empower moving forward? I can ask myself, is this a belief I want to keep? Maybe I want to let go of it. Or maybe I just want to revise it a little bit. And I get to choose a new, more empowering belief for myself. So again, going back to my money story, I realized that I don't want to keep a lot of those messages that I had. Instead, the new beliefs that I want to empower are I can earn all that I need. And how much I earn is not an indicator of my worth and value. And then I can start practicing those new beliefs and keep coming back to them every time those old stories or beliefs creep up. Because they will, I promise. We've had a lifetime believing them. So this isn't going to happen overnight. But if you're intentional about this and you're willing to keep practicing, you can start to override some of those old beliefs and replace them with your new beliefs. And that means that instead of always falling back by default into those old stories, you're actively choosing how your life will go moving forward. And that for me is what this is all about. So that's the process. So quick recap. First, once you have the topic or area that you want to focus on, you're going to list out all the messages you've gotten about that topic, all the beliefs you have about it. And again, you really want to spend some time on this so that you can get it all out there. Then you're going to explore how those beliefs affect your thoughts and behavior. You can ask, how does that belief serve me? Or does it hold me back? What has it cost me? And how do I know it's true? Or not, in that case. Finally, once you understand how your beliefs do or don't serve you, you get to decide the belief or the message that you want to empower moving forward. And don't forget that the most important thing is to be willing to keep practicing that new belief over and over until it starts to become a habit. It might take some time, but stick with it. And I promise you can unlearn some of your old beliefs and choose new, more empowering ones instead. Okay, I know that was crazy fast. So what I would love to do as a thank you for coming today is offer you a free follow-up call so that we could go through this process together for a belief or an area that you want to focus on instead of just hearing about mine. And then we'll have more time to actually dig in and not have to rush through it. So here's a link to my Calendly or QR code that you can scan. And I invite you to go ahead and do that right now before you forget, because I know you're on to other things. But in case you have any problems getting that booked or have any other questions, here is my contact info. And finally, I just want to say thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your time. I know you've got a lot going on today, but I hope you enjoy the rest of the wellness fair. I look forward to seeing some of you again, hopefully, so I can see your faces and we can go through this process again with some of your beliefs. But thanks again. Hope this is helpful and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Jen. Like, I could tell that was a big picture thing that each step, I bet, could be a 15, okay, more than a 15-minute, but yeah, really good, like, big picture tool that we could use to change our mindset. So thank you so much for coming, and thank you for the participants, the viewers, though everyone else here. Our next breakout session is at 12:20, and that is services offered through EAP. And yeah, so thank you so much, Jen, and everybody else. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Grace.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye.